Welcome to Chapter 7, Reporting. This chapter will cover the reporting engine. Topics include printing and exporting, XPS support, print preview, and the report object. This chapter contains one lab, using reporting features. NetAdvantage WPF reporting provides the ability to print any WPF visual. It will also produce print previews and supports XPS. Most powerfully, reporting will lay out large tables of data from the XAM data grid into multiple pages. The objects which make up NetAdvantage WPF reporting include the report, which exposes properties and methods that help you create, print, and export a report. The report object itself does not host content. Instead, it acts as a blank document that contains sections that are responsible for hosting content. The next object is report sections. Each embedded visual report section object defines a section of your report that corresponds to a visual element in your application. You can add as many sections to a report object's sections collection as you need. The last part is the print preview. The XAM report preview control will display a preview of a report. Reporting provides the means for customizing the output of a report. Headers, footers, watermarks, page numbers, and any other visual can be added. Additionally, report settings properties allow for displaying a print dialog and for controlling scaling, alignment, and pagination. And it's time for the reporting lab. Welcome to the Using Reporting Features lab. In this lab, we'll learn about the various functionalities provided by the reporting engine, including exporting data to various formats, print preview, and printing reports. This video is for Task 1 of Exercise 1, and in this task, we'll add functionality to export the XAM data presenter controls to Excel. We're going to start in the code behind file of window1.xaml, and we're going to add the infragistics.excel and infragistics Windows Data Presenter Excel Exporter namespaces to the file. Once that's complete, we'll create a private method called export to Excel. To begin implementing the method, we'll first open a save file dialog using a filter, and then verify the dialog result is true. Next, inside our conditional statement, we'll declare a new Data Presenter Excel Exporter object and connect to its begin export event. Then, continuing in the conditional statement in the export to Excel method, create a new format settings object, set its fill pattern, font weight, and fill pattern background color properties, and assign it to the currently displayed data presenter. To finish up the export to Excel method, we'll check the file extension of the file the user selected and call the export method using the appropriate workbook format. Next, in the exporter begin export event handler, we're going to set a few workbook options. And lastly, inside the button tool click event handler, we'll add a new case to the switch statement for Excel button and call the export to Excel method. Then we can run the project. Let's select the XAM Data Grid tab and then click the Reporting tab in the XAM ribbon control. If we click the Excel button, a Save As dialog window should appear. We'll enter a file name and a directory of choice and click Save. The file should be created in a directory selected, and now you can open it in Excel. And this completes Task 1 of Exercise 1. Welcome to Task 2 of Exercise 1 of the Using Reporting Features lab. In this task, we'll add functionality to export the XAM data presenter controls in the project to XPS files. We'll start in the code behind file of window1.xaml, and we'll add the infragistics Windows reporting namespace to the top of the file. Next, we'll create a private method named createReport that returns a report object. Inside the createReport method, we'll instantiate a new report object and then create an embedded visual report section using the currently selected data presenter. Lastly, we'll add the section to the report. Next, we'll create a new text block, configure it, and set it as the report's page header. Then to complete the create report method, we'll set the page orientation, horizontal pagination mode, and margin properties of the report object, and then return the report. Next, we'll create another private method named export to XPS. Inside the export to XPS method, we'll open a save file dialog with a filter and check the dialog result. Inside our conditional statement, we'll create a new report using the create report method. Then we'll call the export method on the report object, passing in the appropriate file format. Lastly, in the button tool click event handler, we'll add an XPS export case. In this case, we'll call the export to XPS method. Then we can run the project. Now if we export to XPS, we'll get a Save As dialog window, and we can enter a file name and directory of choice and click Save. We can then open the file in Internet Explorer as an XPS file. And this completes Task 2 of Exercise 1. Welcome to Task 1 of Exercise 2 of the Using Reporting Features Lab. In this task, we'll create the Print Preview user control that will display the print preview in your project. In the Solution Explorer window, right-click on the View folder and select Add, followed by User Control. In the Add New Item dialog window, verify the user control template is selected and then enter Print Preview in the Name field. We can then click Add to add the control to the project. In the XAML view of printpreview.xaml, add a declaration for the reporting XML namespace named IG Reporting. Next, set the height and width properties of the user control element to auto. Once that's complete, add a XAM Report Preview control to the grid element and set its name property to XAM Report Preview 1. Next, let's open the code behind file of printpreview.xaml. The first thing we'll do here is add the Infragistics Windows Reporting namespace to the file. Next, we'll create a private member of type report named report. Then we can add a constructor to the print preview class that takes a report argument. In the constructor, we'll call initialize component and then set report to the report parameter. Then to complete the new constructor, we'll register an event handler called print preview loaded to the loaded event of the user control. Inside the print preview loaded event handler, we'll call the generate preview method of XAM report preview 1, passing in the report member. And this completes Task 1 of Exercise 2. Welcome to Task 2 of Exercise 2. In this task, we'll complete the implementation of printing and print preview functionality. We're going to start in the code behind file of window1.xaml, and since I'm using C#, we're going to add the NAWPF lab view namespace to the file. Next, we're going to add a private method called printGrid to the window1 class. The method should accept a bool parameter and return nothing. Inside the print grid method, we're going to create a new report object using our createReport method, and then add a conditional statement for our Boolean parameter. In the true condition, we'll create a new window object, set its content property to a new print preview control, and call showDialog. In our else condition, we'll call the print method of report. Next, in the button tool click event handler, we'll add an XPS print case and call the print grid method, passing in false to skip the print preview. Then in the XPS print preview case, we'll call the print grid method, and this time we'll pass in true. Then let's run the project. Now if we select the XAMPP Data Grid tab and then select the Reporting tab and click the Print button, it will open a print dialog to select a printer, and from then on it will print. Clicking the Print Preview button will open a Print Preview window. All the buttons in the Print Preview window work accordingly. And this completes Task 2 of Exercise 2. Welcome to Task 3 of Exercise 2 of the Using Reporting Features Lab. In this task, we'll create a template to add page numbers to the report. We're going to start in the XAML view of window1.xaml, and the first thing we're going to do is add a declaration for the reporting XML namespace named IG Reporting. Next, we're going to add XAML tags for the resources collection of the XAMPP ribbon window. Then we'll add a data template to the resources collection and set its name property to page number data template. Let's add a doc panel to the data template. Inside the doc panel, we'll insert a text block control and set its doc panel doc property to write and bind its text to the physical page number property of the report page presenter up the tree. Then we'll insert a second text block control into the doc panel, and we'll set the doc panel doc property to write, and we'll set text to page number. Lastly, we'll insert a content presenter control into the doc panel and set its content property to binding. Then let's move to the code behind file of window1.xaml. In the createReport method, we're going to set the page footer template property of the report object to the data template before returning the report. And then go ahead and run the project. Now if we go to Print Preview again, you can see page numbers in the bottom right-hand corner of the report. And this completes the Using Reporting Features Lab.